Hi everyone, Niamh here. This is a re-upload. I uploaded this video yesterday, but there was an issue with the intro and it was a whole thing. And yeah, so I'm back now. I'm refilming this intro. The rest is going to be the same and I'm putting it up now. So this is the second video in my tarot trimester series. And this is basically going over my practice and things that I want to change, things I want to keep the same, etc. Like my tarot and spiritual practice. And this one is going to be a bit more specific on my journals because it is planner season right now. It's August. Hobonichi has put out almost all of their previews for 2025, and that's the main planner journal that I use is Hobonichi, so I have a lot planned for that, and that's basically what this video is going to be. It's going over my current planners, my Techo Kaigi, my meeting of my journals, and sort of planning out what I want to do for 2025. So let's go over to my table, and there's a plane going by right now, of course there is, and let's go look at my journals. All right, so we're at my table here. These are the four main journals or planners, whatever you want to call them, that I've used for 2024. So since this is my spiritual channel, you've likely seen a lot of these two, because this is my main spiritual journal, my main tarot journal. It's where I'm recording all the readings I'm having throughout the year, usually big readings like moon readings, deity readings, ancestor readings, things like that. Yeah, so that's what this one is. And yeah, and each month for 2024 was dedicated to a deity. And of course, we're not through with the year yet, so I'm still in the midst of this. We're in the month of Lu here for August, and then next month will be Lakshmi, then Arianrod, and on Morrigan, and finally on Kaliak. Yeah, so and then at the end, I have I've got all the decks that I've brought in so far, and I actually just received a couple, so I gotta put those in there too. Then my tarot tournament, my tarot wish list, which I still add to. Yeah, and then month by month I go over each deck that I used that month. So I have really been enjoying this. My only problem with this particular setup is that I went with an A6 day free. Oh, and I didn't show the front part here. I've got the calendar and the moon phases and just some, you know, retrogrades and conjunctions. These are from the Witch's Moon that I printed off. It's just Ogham, runes and Ogham, and then like a tarot cheat sheet. I'm trying. It doesn't want to turn the page here. There we go. So yeah, and so this is an A6 day free, because I thought maybe I wanted to go with something that wasn't dated, because in 2023 I used a dated like a A6 original from Hobonichi, and I didn't like that because I wasn't practicing every single day, or I would miss days, and I really didn't like that. So I thought I'd go with the day free for 2024. And my only issue with that is that I'm going to run out of pages. So I thought I mapped out everything, but the day free just does not have enough pages. So yeah, so that's a bummer. I'm going to try to limit what I put in here until the end of the year, but I will eventually run out, and that's okay. But for 2024 or 2025, I'm going to do something different, which I will speak about in a moment. Then my other spiritual journal, of course, is my daily tarot journal here. And I did the same sort of decorations, but I will say the only difference is that I haven't decorated. I did the decorations month by month for this one, instead of with this one I did all the all the decorations in one go. Like, I think I did them in like December of 2023. So that's why they were all done and ready for me. And that's what I needed to do for this, because I didn't do last month's decoration and I haven't done this month's decoration. And yeah, it really frustrates me that I didn't do that. But like, I guess I've just sort of learned that I need to prepare my journals before I actually start using them, because if I have to do a month by month decoration thing, I just don't do it. So, I mean, and some of these I was waiting until like near the end of the month before I finally decorated the pages. So yeah, so that's really the only issue I've had with that. And then the weekly pages were my nightly tarot reading. And I did pretty good on this for the most part. Some of these pages I got all of the days in the week done. I kind of stopped printing off the names of the decks that I was using. That was getting to be a bit too much. So it was like somewhere, like this one I did the whole week too. Yeah, like this one I don't have the name. Yeah, this is around where I stopped putting the name. I have one here, but yeah, it was inconsistent after this point. And now I don't do that at all. And there are weeks where I've maybe only done one reading that week, and I don't mind it too much. I mean, ideally I would have liked to have done the whole week, every single week, but that's unrealistic. And I have weeks like this where I really only did one page or one day. Yeah, and then I started, I kind of stopped using the stamps recently. Yeah, recently I stopped using the stamps, and it was just getting to be a little too much bringing the stamps out, because I do these at night in bed, right next to my husband. And yeah, so, and this was last week, and you can see that I did the first day and I did the last day, but I didn't do anything in the middle. And yeah, so hopefully I'll start picking up on these next, like in the coming months. But this is something I mostly want to stick with 2025. So I'm going to be getting a similar one another weeks like this, and I'm going to be doing the same sort of thing. But I don't know what I'm going to do, because the morning card pull, I don't know. I haven't been enjoying it much. That I find harder to do. I like the nighttime card pulls are easier for me, but the morning ones I almost never do. So yeah, I'm gonna figure out something different with that. So this is the part that's going to be less interesting for the followers of this particular channel, and that's because I'm going to go over my other journals real quick too. So maybe if I remember, I'll put a timestamp in, and so you can skip this part if you want. but if you're interested, here we go. So this is my Nihongo no Nikki, and that means Japanese language diary. And this year, what I did was instead of it being a diary, I'm watching an episode of a Japanese reality TV show called Terrace House, Boys and Girls in the City. I'm watching the same episode as many times as possible in a week. The first time I watch it is with Japanese subtitles, and I take lots of notes. I write down random quotes from the characters, they're real people. Obviously, it's a reality show, but I write down just quotes, things that people are saying on the show, and then the next time I watch it with English subtitles, and I'm just watching it. I'm watching, I'm connecting what's being said with the English subtitles and what I remembered from my note taking and things like that. Yeah, and then I try to watch it more at least one other time during the week, when I watch it again, I watch it without any subtitles. So I just watch it in Japanese, no subtitles at all. And if I watch it more after that, then it's just with Japanese subtitles. So that was kind of my my method. And most of the time I watched it like 3 times a week, but some of the weeks I really only watched twice. So yeah, that's been a little inconsistent. I try to watch 3 times a week, and there have been weeks that I missed, and I just didn't fill out that. I just didn't do it that week, and and I'm okay with that. There have been days like this. I was taking some notes, but yeah, so I do enjoy this, but it does get to be a little bit of a chore sometimes. I like the creativity with it, and there's no actual theme. Like, I have kind of a mix of themes going on, even page by page. And it's kind of me using up my stickers. So, like, this is from One Piece, and yet I have these from Porco Rosso. So, like, they're not consistently from the same sort of series, but all of these were Spy Family. But yeah, anyway, I did really enjoy this, but it's not going to be something I continue next year. And I had a plan for my Nihongo no Nikki for 2025, but even after I made that plan, I've changed it already. So I'll discuss that in a moment, because I think I just want to talk about my current journals right now before I talk about what I want in the future. But yeah, so and this is a page I just completed. Pictures of that will go up on my Instagram. I'm filming this on August 19th, I believe, or August 20th. I can't remember what today is. But it's a Monday that I'm filming this. This video will go up on Tuesday. And pictures of this page on my Instagram will go up on Wednesday. And I've already decorated next week's page as well. And obviously it's very cyberpunk edge runners so themed here. So yeah, all right. So this is fun, but it's not. I'm going to do something similar, but it's not going to be this. And this is. This was my main, like, Hobbies Journal, and for the most part, like, it started out working for me, for the most part, but over time, I've kind of stopped using it this way. It's kind of a recap of what I did that day, kind of a memory keep, sort of. It's, I don't know how to describe how I was using this, but, so, like, on this page, for Nihongo, that's what I wrote right here. You can hardly see this with black on top of purple, but it says Nihongo right there. That's Japanese. So I did Duolingo. I read Mixu, that's a manga. I read that, and I also read another book in Japanese. Then entertainment, we watched Star Trek The Next Generation, Season 6, Episode 11. We watched Castlevania, Season 4, Episode 7. And then over here, spirituality, I read the Book of Ganesha. And then, like, social media is Instagram post and what I edited that day. And then I did a study break. I didn't study that day. So, yeah, I mean, that was kind of what I was doing. It's just that I couldn't keep up with this. I did for quite some time. And, anything that I didn't fill out, I just sort of put stickers and decorations and things like that. And I love the way it looks. It's just, this is something that I just can't keep up with. You know what I mean? So, like, I have weeks or days like this where I didn't do anything, and the decorations started to become more minimal and more minimal as I went on, and I just didn't quite know how to, because this was kind of what I was doing for 2023 too, but it wasn't quite like this. I was trying to change it up a little bit for 2024, but the dailies just were not working for me. And finally, like, near the end of March, I just actually, this is still in the mid-March. Like, by the end of March, I just wasn't using it anymore. And it wasn't until here that I sort of changed directions again. So what I have here is the A6 add-on for the A6, and it's just a weekly thing here. And this, in general, works for me because it's a vertical weekly layout listing everything that I have planned, And I don't care if it's messy, I don't care if I scribble things out. And, like, see, I've got a lot of scribbles going on here. It's just a general, agenda or planner. Yeah, planner is the word I was looking for. So yeah, and this does work for me, and it was working for me for quite some time. But then I sort of switched to using a digital thing. But when I wanted to come back to this, I decided to start using my Hobbies Journal as my planner. So then I kind of stopped using this in basically April. Well, I used it a little bit. No, yeah, April is when I stopped using that. And it's when I started to move that to here. And I swore that I was not going to use this journal as a planner. And yeah, because the thing is with planners, I just end up tossing these at the end of the year because why would I want to keep this? You know what I mean? And that's kind of my mindset with that. And that's why I was decorating this because I want to keep this. It's One Piece themed and I like it. I want to be able to look back on it. And if it's just an agenda like this, if it's just a planner, it's not necessarily something I want to keep. So but I don't know, moving back to this sort of system was working better for me. And it's not very pretty, but it was working better for me. And the color coding here, and it's the same thing I had in here, this sort of thing helps me a lot. Because before, it's just a blank page. I mean, it just looks like, let me see if I can find a blank page or something. Well, I mean, this is blank enough. I wrote something here, but I mean, that's what it looks like before. And same sort of thing in here, though I think no, I didn't. I added these, but I never fully went through and added all the other highlights. But yeah, adding this highlight helps a lot. The yellow here and here marks the start of my day. It's at 6 a.m. and the end of my day, which is about 10 p.m. That's when I wake and when I go to sleep. And then the orange line right here is lunch, and the orange line right here is dinner. And it doesn't matter if I have lunch at that time or not, or if I had dinner at that time or not. I found that this sort of separation just helps my brain a lot when it sections out my day like that. Because I have the first chunk of the day right here, the morning until lunch, and then from lunch until dinner, and then after dinner and bedtime. So that I don't know, that helps me section out the day, even if I don't exactly have lunch or dinner at that exact time. It just helps me out. And then down at the bottom, the pink line is what I post on Instagram. The blue line is YouTube. And I think, like, I wanted to post on Threads, a lot of spiritual stuff on Threads, but I just never really caught up, like, never really ended up doing that. So it's kind of just an other category, but I have been posting on TikTok now, so maybe the green will be TikTok. I don't know, but I duplicated that over here when I started switching to using this as my agenda. So and this is mostly working. So I'm going to keep this up, but I'm going to try to do something a little bit different. This was me trying to do some Japanese notes. I did a lot of Japanese notes in my Hobbies Journal from 2023. And then here I was just kind of planning out because this is just a testing page. I like how I want to do this in the future. So yeah. All right. So I guess I will put in stop the timestamp here, because now I'm going to talk about my plans for the future. And I did actually write them down in notes on this, so I'm going to pull this out just so I can look at it. So that's my Techo Kaigi. And now I'm going to talk about my plans for 2024. So I'll probably put pictures up on the screen. But here are my plans going forth for my journals for 2025. So I do plan to get the next One Piece A6 original with the cover, and I'm going to use that as an agenda, as a planner. And so it's not going to be as pretty, it's not going to be as decorative as some of the beginning parts in here, but at least I'll be able to keep up with it, and it'll be very functional. It's going to be my functional journal. And I didn't mention this in the beginning part, but one thing that really, really worked for me with this journal, I mean, I was doing a menstrual tracker, but I gotta refill this out because I wasn't keeping up with it. It's in, I use a digital app, so, but this was really working for me. And this is my YouTube schedule. So this is the yearly index, and I was going to cover this with some sort of sticker or something. But this is really, really working for me. So I'm going to continue to do this in 2025. Basically, I write down, I record every YouTube video I create, and it kind of keeps me accountable for doing YouTube videos, you know, because I try to do 2 a week for my spiritual channel here. I also have an art channel that normally I would put planner stuff on, but I have not been keeping up with that. I do want to get back into my art channel. Yeah, for 2025, I want to do more artwork. So that's kind of a plan for 2025 there. But I don't know how much I'll actually be posting on my art channel. So yeah, it's kind of a dead channel right now, but it's there still. And if I post there, I think I have it in purple, yeah, which is hard to tell the difference on camera here, but between the blue and the purple. The blue is my spiritual channel, and the orange is my learning channel. So I do have a language learning channel. It's mostly dead too, but like I do still, like I post there more often than I post at my art channel. So it's kind of I post there when I want to, you know. And I do have a gaming channel too, which I would mark in green if I posted there, but there's literally no videos on there, and I just have not had enough time to game this year. And I don't know. And most of my gaming is The Sims 4, but I do other games too. I just don't film them. But anyway, so this super worked for me. So what I'm going to do for 2025, I'm going to continue this. The yearly index is going to be my YouTube schedule. And then what I've decided what I want to do for the calendars, because I never really figured out what I wanted to do with the calendar part for this journal. And I think I'm gonna do Instagram and possibly TikTok on here. I'll probably mark in pink highlighter what I'm posting, because I post on Instagram pretty much every day. So go check out my Instagram if you're interested. So I do post on my Instagram pretty much every day, and if I post reels on my Instagram, I also post those on TikTok. So yeah, and I think I might use the calendar pages for that. So that's the plan. And see, I started to do that here. I started to list off what I was going to put for each Instagram post. So yeah, all right. So that is my main planner agenda for 2025. It's going to be the same sort of thing, but better. All right, and so for my Nihongo no Nikki for 2025, I am not going to do another Nihongo no Nikki. I was going to, and yeah, but I am going to get a week's, and I'm going to, instead of a Nihongo no Nikki for my weeks, I'm actually going to do a study of this deck. This is the Kami to Yokai Oracle. Yeah, so, which I've shown before on my channel. I really, really like this deck. But of course, it's completely in Japanese, and you know, it's something I want to study. And I was thinking that this would be my Nihongo no Nikki, would be because there's 52 cards in here, so I can have 1 card a week. And how I'm going to decorate it is I'm going to scan each of these, and I'm basically going to print them off, and I'll have 1 full picture here with whatever decor I want to do, and then like in Japanese, having information about this this spirit, this Kami to Yokai, divine being and spirit, you know. So yeah, so that's the plan. But I know that I'm not going to be able to do that every single week. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to use it as an undated thing. So I can do it when I want to. And so it still will be 52 weeks using these cards and researching these cards, but it's probably going to take a long time, and it's probably going to take longer than a year, and I will use each page, but it won't be dated. I mean, the weeks itself will be dated, but I'm not going to use it dated. So I just don't want to put too much pressure on myself. I still want to get it done, but I don't want to put too much pressure on myself. So so I still am getting a weeks. It's just going to be more of a journal, and you know, and not tied to each week, but I will be using each of the weeks in here. So yeah, I hope that made sense. And the weeks I'm planning on getting for this deck is the Denali weeks, and I will put a picture up on the screen. And when this collection was shown on the previews for Hobonichi, I was just like, oh my god, I've got to get some of the stuff, because I really like the mountain imagery, the Denali imagery. And I even, like, a lot of people in the Hobonichi subreddit were complaining about the planes on the pencil boards, but I kind of like them. So, and I think that blue energy, I think matches this deck really well. So, yeah, so I feel like it's going to look really nice. And yeah, so that's the weeks that I'm going to get. I am going to get another A6 Techo, or so I'm going to get the A6 Spy Family Hone. And I'll put that up on the screen too. And this is going to be, I was like, maybe this will be my Nihongo no Nikki, but instead, what I think I want to use this for is a study journal. And I do have other study journals that I've gotten from Hobonichi, like the notebooks and stuff. And I use those. I have a few of those that I do specific sort of Japanese notes in. But this one is, I think it's going to be a daily use thing. And I think I'm going to use it to post, or not post, but to write down my study of this book that I'll put up on the screen. Yeah, so I've been going through this book on and off, and I think I want to start from the beginning and kind of record day by day my studies of this workbook. And in fact, I might be using the second workbook, because the first, I'm going to be taking the JLPT, the Japanese Language Proficiency Test, at the end of this year, 2024. In fact, I need to register for that ASAP. So for 2025, I might use the next book in the series. So yeah, and that's what I will use the Spy Family Hone for. All right, and I got to look at my notes here real quick. So Denali weeks for the Kamito Yokai, the A6 Spy Family Hone for Japanese Study Journal, One Piece A6 for my life tracker, agenda, social media tracker, things like that. Then, okay, here's another one. I'm going to be getting another A6 day free, not for my spiritual journal, but for a wellness health menstrual tracker. And the reason I'm getting a separate book for that, it's going to be a day free, and it will, I'm going to be using the A6 Denali cover, so another Denali for that. And the reason I went with day free for this is because most of the health tracking I want to put in the beginning part of the book, where it's got the dated stuff, and, you know, I can put menstrual stuff, I can put health, exercise, things like that. I can use the monthly layout for that. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff I can put in the dated part, but I'm going to use the undated part kind of actually more as a tarot journal, but specifically menstrual tarot readings, because that's a practice that I've been wanting to get into, a sort of tarot card ritual sort of practice centered around my menstrual cycle. So yeah, so that's what that is going to be, and it's going to be in A6 day free with the Denali cover. And I also forgot to mention that this is the other journal that I have. This is my therapy journal, so I'm not going to open this. But this is an A6 day free, and I'm just going to continue to use that for 2025 because I didn't finish it. I'm not going to an empty page. But yeah, so there's lots of empty pages here, and this is just fine for me. This should probably last me just fine for 2025. And if I continue to do therapy, and after that, I'll just get another A6 day free, and I'll probably still use the same cover because I really like this the little gifts, but I don't like the what was the new designs for 2025 with for this series. I just still really like this one. Anyway, so the next one that I'm gonna do. All right, so my spiritual journal for 2025. So I am going to get I'm going to get an A6 original. It will be dated, but I'm not going to use it dated. And the only reason I'm getting the A6 original is because it's got a lot more pages than the day free. It just does. It's got a lot more pages. So I'll use it in the same sort of way. It's just I'm not going to pay attention to the dates that are on there. I'll cover them with stickers and washi tape and whatever else I end up using it for. So what I had initially planned on doing was kind of separating out all of my spiritual practice stuff. I was gonna get either a notebook or a day free that was going to be a spiritual journal that was just going to be Sabbats and Esbats. So all the 8 holidays, plus the my 4 moon readings a month. That was going to be in one journal. And then I was going to have a separate one for a general tarot journal where I just use that for just any sort of tarot reading I do, not necessarily decorated pages, just a general tarot journal. And then another one, either a notebook or day free, probably a notebook, that was going to be a spell journal and just recording spells that I do. That's what I was going to do. But then I changed my mind. I decided to get that A6 original because it's got a lot more pages, and I'm just going to combine all of those things into that one. Yeah, and that's, and I'm going to get it's going to be another hone, and this one is going to be the Chinese Zodiac for 2025, and that's going to be the snakes one. Now, they haven't shown this yet on Hobonichi hasn't shown this yet, but there were leaked images of this, and yeah, and it's basically it's kind of light colored, white or really light blue, and it's got blue snakes, kind of not embroidered, but it's that bow and tie fabric cover, but it's got like blue, and the snakes look like paper snakes. So yeah, and that's all over it. And so that's what I'm planning on getting for my spiritual journal. And I'm going to get a hone cover for it. And I'm going to get a nice sticker, snake themed, kind of mystical snake themed sticker to go right on the fronts to kind of personalize it a bit. So, and I was going to get the, I was going to get the matching snakes weeks for my nightly journal, because this is basically going to stay the same. But just last night, they shared the last of the previews, and I really, really like the weeks in that one. And I'll put that one up on the screen so we can see it. So I'm trying to, I'll decide by September, because September 1st is when I'm going to order things. And I'm going to try to decide which one I want more. Snakes, so that they both match, or snakes and that new one. So yeah, that's going to be my big decision for, in the next couple weeks. So, and I do also plan on getting an A6 notebook. If I don't already have one, which I might already have one. But the cover I'm getting for this is the Mina something, yeah, Mina something. I'll put the name up on the screen. But it's green with houses. And this is going to be my ancestor journal because this contained a bunch of my ancestor readings. Let's see if I can find one in here. And I enjoyed doing my ancestor readings and stuff, but I've kind of fallen off track with them a little bit. I want to get back into them, but it was just taking up space in this. So that's the one thing I am going to keep separate. And of course, I can't find an ancestor. You know, I kept opening pages to my ancestor readings when I was going over. Here's one. So like, I'm just going to have a whole journal dedicated to my ancestor readings. So that's going to be the plan for that. So there's a lot of Hobonichi stuff I'm going to get. And that's kind of the general plan for 2025. I think in my last tarot trimester, I will go over... I'm going to finalize what exactly I want to do for 2025, and I'll go over that then. But this one has been really focused on the journals. So there's a lot that I'm going to be getting. It's going to probably cost me about $300, honestly. So One Pace A6 for Life Tracker, A6 Spy Family Hone for Japanese Study Journal, Denali Weeks for my Dex Study, the Day Free with a Denali cover for my health journal / menstrual tarot. Then A6 Hone, Snakes Hone for my spiritual journal. Either as a snakes or that other one for my nightly tarot journal. And then in a notebook for my ancestor journal. All right, this has been extremely long, so thank you for sticking with me, and I will see you next time. Bye, everyone.